Hello everyone. Today I thought I'd show you a project that I made about 20 years ago. It started off as a frame, and it folds, and in the centre I just made a bag using some William Morris fabric, lined it, and I just use it for either knitting, sewing. It's just handy at the side of the chair. But why I thought I'd show you this, I do think life is a bit of a plan. Everything sort of fits into perspective. It's like a jigsaw, isn't it? I was driving along a country lane and I saw this country house in the middle of nowhere. I was on my way to a big antique centre actually, and it was open to the public just for that afternoon, just a one-off. And I thought, oh, this is nice, I'll pop in here, have an afternoon tea and a tour of the house. And I walked around the house, lovely rooms. It wasn't too big. I would have loved to have lived there. It was absolutely beautiful. Lovely garden. And as I was walking around, I saw this sewing stand. And there was a little middle-aged lady doing the tour. And I was asking her some questions about the house. And I just pointed to the stand and I said, oh, that would be, it was in a bedroom actually. I said, that'd be useful as a sewing stand. And probably is a sewing stand, I said, but I didn't know what it was doing in the bedroom. And it was, there was a silk lining, but the silk had faded very badly. But I got talking to this lovely lady. She was absolutely, I've still got her in my mind's eye, she's lovely. And she showed me around the house. Gorgeous dining room, elevated ceilings, just beautiful. The garden had got wisteria all around it, beautiful. And we went into the garden and there was a small shed, and it was only the size, I'd say about 6 foot by 3 foot. And the gardener used to keep all his tools in this tiny little shed. And it was overgrown with ivy and roses, very quaint. And there was a cross above the door. And I said, why is there a cross above the door? And she started to smile and she said, that's the smallest church in the country. And I opened the door and she said, the gardener keeps his used to keep his tools in here. And she says, we just use it now. We just put the cross up and use it. It's a little walk-in church, if you like. I thought that was quaint. And when I came away, I thought, I want one of those folding stands, and I'd love a little church in the garden. Now, I didn't get the church in the garden. I've got lots of promises, but not managed it yet. And onto the stand now. I found a stand in an old junk shop. And at the same time, a friend and I decided we would join a woodworking club and have a go at making one. So I took the stand with me, and it's ironic, but the woodworking teacher was the boy I used to go to school with. And we were talking. I did actually get one of these frames made. I did it in light oak, but that's in Wales at the moment. So I was really pleased when this was on. But I was even more pleased that I'd met my tutor again. Because when we were young, we saved the life of a schoolmate. She was drowning, and together we managed to save her. So, two little stories in one there. I got my stand. I met the schoolmate again. In the woodworking class was a gentleman who never spoke. He was very quiet. And at the end of the term, it closed and we all went our own ways. And a few months later, I met a lovely lady at a sewing class, got chatting, and she actually married the quiet man in the woodworking class. I just thought it very strange how everything seems to, fall into place. But I digress a bit. I went back to the country house and just to see if it was open again. And it was. And I went in, the same lady. And I said to her, "You look different." She said, "Do I?" I says, "You look different." I says, "You're happy?" I says, "Before I saw you," I says, "I gathered somehow that you were sad and miserable." And I says, "You're a different woman." And she says, "Can you guess what it is?" And I just said, "Yes, it's a man." "You've got a new man." And she says, "Yes, I have." She hasn't told anybody. She said, "But my husband went off with a lady, or a few ladies." I said, "Well, I can identify with that." I said, "Because the same happened to me." I said, "Someone married his brother." And we had a good laugh about it. And she said, "But I've met an absolutely lovely man, he's the gardener." And she was selling the house up, moving into a little cottage with the gardener. I thought it was a sweet little story. And they lived happily ever after. It went into private ownership, the house, and I never saw the lady again. She may not be alive. She may not be alive, and I won't name any names, but I do hope wherever she is, she's enjoying life with her gardener. So a little story to go with that sewing stand. It's the only woodworking skill that I've used, and I will say this, machinery scares the hell out of me. How I managed to do that, I don't know. But with the help of the tutor, got that together, and I made two or three, I think. And no, I don't do anything at all like that. But I do the needlework. I just change these when they need changing, put different material on them. So that's it, basically, ladies. And I've rambled on a bit, but that's the sewing stand and a little story behind it. And thanks for looking in. Bye for now. Bye.